Hello, welcome back to the fourth video in this series of how I paint my American Civil War miniatures, and this one is going to be a Confederate Battery. And so we're starting off with, I'm going to paint the gun barrel. This is a paint stick that I get from the craft aisle at Walmart, the fine point tip. And I decided I wanted to go with like a bronze gun barrel for this one. And I tried several different colors of gold, and that one's the one that looked the best on the final finished product for me. So the gun carriage here, I decided to paint this bright red. The reason I'm painting it red is I watched the movie Gods and Generals several times, and I was just always loved the look of the Confederate Battery in the beginning of that movie. So I decided to try and emulate that as much as I could. So I used that color red, and that's the first coat. And now I'm going to go on and start painting the gun crew. So starting with their coats, and they're going to be in a country gray using my Citadel fine point brush. This is my workhorse brush. I use it on everything. So when you're painting these kind of models, and whatever model you paint, it's just good to make sure you studied it ahead of time and know what all your details are and what colors you're going to go with. Try several different variations and come up with what looks best for you. I try to be as historically accurate as I can. I'm probably not all that successful all the time, so please forgive me if you are a history buff and wanting to beat me senseless right now. So we got the country gray on there, and sometimes I'll have to go back and do another color, another layer with it. Right now I'm going back and doing a second coat of the red on the gun carriage. With these paints, you have to be careful of not slopping them on there too much, and also thinning them out just a little bit. A little bit of water dabbed in the brush helps thin it out and makes the paint go over smoothly. So this is going to be nutmeg brown with the fine point brush again, and I'm going to paint 3 of the pants in this color, and the last one I'll do in a different color, blue bonnet. Again, like I said on the infantry videos, somewhere, I don't remember exactly where, but I read to be more accurate to the actual Confederate Army in history, to vary up like the color of the coats or the paint or the pants with different colors because they were more mismatched in some cases. So here's the blue bonnet going on the guy wiping his forehead. Making sure to get all around the model on all these different colors. And here is khaki. I'm going to paint his hat that color, and also this guy. Okay, this is the Citadel Cadian flesh tone. Little water to thin it down and get really, really nice coverage. Making sure to hit all the hands and all the necks and faces of these models. And this particular paint is another one I use them on almost everything I paint. It's a really nice color. Okay, and this one is pavement. And I'm just painting the binoculars. I was thinking in retrospect, I probably should have done like more of a brass color for the binoculars, and I'm sure the field glasses were probably that color instead of the dark color, but oh well, it is what it is. I'm using nutmeg brown on these last couple of hats, and this is the Golden Sunset. I'm using that to paint the suspenders, and some of these guys had buttons, so I use that to paint those. I use the yellow just to help the detail pop out more. I could use like, you know, more of a leather color, like a brown or something, but I think the yellow really helps it pop and brings out that detail. So I use the chocolate brown on the ramrod for the cannon. And here's khaki again. I'm going to use that. I decided to paint the spokes of the carriage wheels, that khaki, to simulate like a wooden color. Once I add the Agrax earth shade later on, it really makes it look nice, I think. I feel. So it was one of those, as I was painting it red, I went, oh, because I did that on my other gun carriage that I tested at first. And so, like in pictures, you'll see it has red spokes instead of the wooden spokes. But that's okay. We'll have some variance when it's on the table. So when you're getting into these details like this, because these models are so tiny, it's just take your time and go slow. Don't rush. Because if you rush, then you're going to start making mistakes. Alright, just doing another touch-up. There's my nice thumb right there for you. And here I'm painting the rope on the back there. Now I'm using black to go for the rail around the carriage wheels. The part of the area of the world I live, we see a lot of old wagon wheels, and they all had like a steel band around them like that. So I decided to make it look like that. And then just doing some highlights with black. Yes, I know, highlights with black, but oh well. Just to do some, make some things look nice. Now I'm using this gold color from Citadel Paints for the hub of the wheels. Mostly just to have some highlight. Okay, so I'm using the sterling silver to paint some more of the metal details on the back of the carriage. Mostly to help on the stand, help the model's details to come out, because they'll kind of disappear. I used black on my cannons and gun crews for my Union Army, and on the stand they just disappeared right away. So just doing some touch up there. They're starting to look pretty nice. Now I'm using burnt umber to paint the bases, because that's the color I'll use for the earth tone when they're on the stands. Alright, so now we're ready to glue the gun barrel onto the carriage and make our cannon. Have to be really careful when you're using the super glue, because it'll glob on there really fast if you're not careful. So do be mindful of that if you're trying any of this out. Okay, so I'm going to use the Agrax Earth Shade and using my wash brush. Just putting a dab on each one and then spreading it out so that the wash doesn't pool in any one location. Otherwise it'll dry and become really dark in those areas. So you just have to be really careful about that. Because it's hard. Once it's on there, you'd have to basically paint it again to fix any mistakes. Okay, so that's drying. I used just a gold spray paint to paint the base of the stand, and just going through there doing a couple double checks to hit any areas that needed a little touch up. And I'm going to use the blue bonnet to simulate the glass. I got a little bit bigger dot on there than I wanted to. Oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, so just a little look there to kind of see what it's looking like now. Really nice details in these models. I really like them. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to paint the dude's hair. So he has nutmeg brown hair. There we go. Okay, so when I glue the cannons and everything on, and place the gun crews and everything, I like to make it look dramatic, and so I don't just like put them all on there straight and whatever. I mean, I'll turn the cannon a little bit and make it look like it's being worked on the field. So you can see, I mean, it's not just going to be straight on there. I put it at a little angle, and then you kind of look at the gun crews, because each pack is a little different. The models and the poses that they give you. So you just kind of have to figure out where they go and just place them there. And hopefully I have them accurate. That guy kept wanting to fall down on the job. Anyway, so that's what I do, and get an idea of what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to use the burnt umber to paint down there. I'm dabbing away the super glue, because if you try to put the paint on there with the glue, it just looks really weird. I realize here I used my wash brush to paint. I know I've said throughout this series that I don't do that, and then here I am doing that, so I do apologize. Please forgive me. I'm only human. Anyway, so I used the burnt umber for the ground color, and I just got some fine sifted sand that I got from a local playground from a school I worked at, and just used the pretty liberal with the burnt umber color, and that way it acts like a glue. Now what I'm going to do is use the shamrock green to use as a glue for the ground foam, and just kind of vary. Each model is a little different, and I'll put the ground foam in different places and just use lots of that, and then I just dip the whole stand into the ground foam. This ground foam I got at Hobby Lobby, and see it I think it looks pretty nice like that. I mean, I think it does a nice job. So here I'm just spraying some isopropyl alcohol with like a dab of dish detergent soap, and that helps the white glue mixture, that's my scenic cement, to soak into the model. This is just a 50-50 white glue and scenic cement. Anyway, so here we're going to have some show you one of the other stands that I had done earlier. You can see how I did the red spokes instead of the wooden spokes. That's okay. Once the white scenic cement glue mixture dries, it makes the ground foam nice and hard, so it's going to be durable. And I just get that white glue at the dollar store. Anyway, so here's a look at how these turned out. Enjoy. Anyways, so I appreciate any comments or questions that you have, and just please remember to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of these tutorials. And just thank you so much for tuning in.